Diane in Denmark here, and rah, rah, rah. It's Friday and we made it to the end of another week, so go us. Let me just put my pom-poms away. I've got two things for you today. First of all, next week, just to tell you, remember I said when I came back from our summer holidays that I had a few kind of ideas going in my head. The first one is going to be next week, and next week we're going to be doing a whole week of back to school. Now, it's not just for those of you who have kids who are going back to or starting primary school or starting nursery or creche or high school. Not just for those of you with kids, also for those of you who feel like you've maybe come into that kind of summer slump and you want to get going with everything again. So that's what we'll be doing all next week, Monday to Friday. They'll just be very short videos, but we'll be covering all the things to give us that va-va-voom to get us going again. Now, the other thing today is it's Friday. And it's roasting hot again. I mean, how many times have I said that since the month of May? And you see today, I'm wearing one of my beach dresses again today. This is not the type of thing I would wear normally walking around in the city. But it's been incredibly hot and humid, and it's going to be the same again today. And I'm off to have a swim with my DS18 once he wakes up. And we're going down to the bathing club. Now, just in case any of you are worrying, when we go down to the bathing club together, there is a mixed section. There's a ladies section where it's all the ladies, all the naked ladies. There's a men's section where all the men can be naked if they want to. And then there's a mixed section. And after 9 o'clock in the morning, when it's open to the general public, normally it's a closed bathing club and you've got to be over 18 to get in. They open it up during the summer, and in the mixed section, you must wear a bathing suit or trunks or something, because there are little kids there, and so I will be swimming with him down there. So just in case any of you are worrying, I know you all worry about this kind of nudity thing, but in Denmark we're very relaxed about our bodies. We're not so maybe worried about the looks or things as you may get in other countries. I don't know, I just feel like when I moved here to Denmark it was much more relaxed and people aren't kind of looking at each other and judging. And anyway, what I did want to share with you today, and it's one of those just for fun things, is what the Danes eat for breakfast. Now listen, I'm going to underline it with a big pen. This is a generalization. Of course the Danes may eat spelt pancakes and eggs and beans and sausages, and I'm talking about the very traditional things that the Danes eat for breakfast. And the reason I'm talking about this today is because a couple of times I've mentioned that I eat rolled oats, raw, uncooked rolled oats for my breakfast, and people said, "Oh, what is it?" So here we go. And remember, it's just for fun. And if you don't like it, there's no need to make faces and leave nasty comments. Just if you've not got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Anyway, here it comes. Now there are kind of two main things that the Danes will eat. And this is what younger Danes will eat, or for your kids, and this is what my kids had for breakfast and what I eat for my breakfast. Now, it is basic, I've marked it here, in Danish it's called havregryn, that's how you pronounce it, havregryn, and it's basic, old-fashioned. Let me just get a plate, let me see if I can bring you down a wee bit. No, I don't want to bring you down, come on down, okay. And let me move my coffee cup out of the way. These are the rolled oats, old-fashioned oats, the plain bog standard oats. The ones that you can cook. The Danes, would maybe cook them in winter, when it's really cold and you need something sticky inside you to keep you going all day. I'm going to show you them here. And the Danes, they would probably take about that much, a wee bit more. And eat those like that with milk. We drink mini milk, which is very skimmed milk, or slightly skimmed, I can never remember. Or some Danes will eat them just with water. And that is it. And I know it seems crazy, and it was a bit crazy when I first came here to Denmark. It's a bit like if you live in Britain and you know, like Alpen cereal, it's like all the good bits taken out of Alpen cereal and just the floor fluff that gets left. So it's just bog standard rolled oats. And when my kids were small, like my daughter, she'll eat them like that with milk. I put on some raisins. You can throw in a handful of chia seeds. Sometimes if I'm being really good to myself, I take a handful of almonds and I chop them up, so it gives me that kind of marzipan taste. But it's not like the rolled oats that you see, or the oats that you see, you know, those overnight oats on Pinterest. The Danes just put the milk on them. I mean, I just had mine and put them in. I've just finished eating mine. You just put the milk on them and eat them like that. So it's kind of half crunchy and half soggy. But when my kids were small, they would take like 1 or 2 teaspoons of sugar. And I used to eat them like that too, but even now I don't even bother with the sugar. So hauergloon is what you call it when it's in its raw state, and if you were to cook that up, you know, you can cook it up with water or milk, just a few minutes. These are like the quick kind. You would call it havregrøt, and grøt is the word for porridge. So that was on the oats, and it's one of those things that, you know, when it gets to the end of the month and people are saying, oh, we'll be living on you know, pasta, cooked pasta with ketchup. That's what the Danes say. You know, like at the end of the month, oh, we'll be eating rolled oats with water. So it's a very, you know, cheap thing, and something that students eat a lot of when the students run out of money at the end of the month, then that's what they'll be eating. Now, so that was it basically for what younger Danes will eat. You know, if you've got small kids, that's what they'll have in the morning. And of course you can add different things to it, you know, or honey or whatever, but you know, I just eat them with raisins and milk. And I put them in my wee cup that you saw yesterday, which I had down at the beach. Where is it? Oh, it's in the dishwasher, and I had to switch off the dishwasher because it'd make too much noise when I'm making a video. Anyway, I just put them in my wee cup and then I eat them when I get down there. Now the other thing that older Danes eat, and I always, in my mind, I have this idea that, you know, you've got to be retired, you know, a pensioner to be eating this. But I've lived in Denmark for the last 20 years, and now I'm getting to the stage that this is the kind of breakfast that I like too. Now the alternative, oh, hold on, just before I finish about the oats, because I know you're all going to say, oh, but is it like these other oats? It's not pinhead oatmeal. Okay, here's havregrøn, the rolled oats, and that's the pinhead oatmeal. And you can see, hold on, I'll just put some out on a plate so you can see the difference. The pinhead oatmeal is the steel cut oats that you've got to cook for, you know, 8 to 10 minutes. The ones that I do in the Instant Pot in the pressure cooker. And I did a video about that. I'll put the link up there, because my daughter loves them that way when it's a bit cooler. That's the pinhead oatmeal, and this is the rolled oats. Okay, just so as you, let's get clear that don't try eating those just with milk uncooked. Right, so on to the other thing. Let me see how we're doing for time. Oh, right, get flying. Older Danes, me included, and this is what my besties, Vibeke and Helene, my Danish besties, this is what they eat for their breakfast, generally speaking. Of course we branch out into other things, but generally speaking, this is what they eat. They eat rye bread. Now, they usually buy theirs from the baker and slice it themselves. I'm not so good in the slicing, and I do eat so much of that rye bread. So I buy the ready sliced stuff from the supermarket. They come in with all different types of grains. In our family we like this one best. This is sunflower seeds. There's a lot of sunflower seeds in it, in the rye. And here we are. But this is basically what it comes like, and it's all ready sliced for you. And you'll see, I'll put a wee on the plate. There we are. There's the rye bread. You can see the wee bits of seed in it, the sunflower seeds. And And what the Danes will normally eat is they'll have it with a piece of cheese. Now, this is the cheese that we buy. We buy the stuff that's ready sliced, so we can just grab it in the morning or at lunchtime or whatever and put it on your piece of rye bread. Here we are. And it's, you can get it in, of course, various degrees of strength, how aged it is. But if you've never tried Danbo cheese before, it's a bit like, you know, saying like having like a kind of Gouda. You know, it's that kind of consistency, and you can see it's kind of a bit floppy. And that would be what the Danes would eat for breakfast. That and probably a black cup of coffee, just straight coffee, black, no kind of weird stuff in it, or sugar, or maybe a wee splash of milk, but no kind of weird cream or stuff, just black coffee. And this is called in ostemel. Ost is the Danish word for cheese, and mel, which is spelled mad, a mad. Ostemel is a piece of cheese on a piece of bread. A mel is any kind of thing that you eat. It's any kind of like basic sandwich. Because I know a lot of you think when we talk about Danish sandwiches that we call them smørrebrød and you know, Danish open sandwiches, but generally speaking in Denmark, if you said smørrebrød, you would mean with all the different fancy toppings. And a basic lunchtime sandwich would be called a mel. So there we go. Now, and as I said, the cheese, we buy the quite mild one. This is called mellemlavet, which means middle-aged. And which is 45, what do you call it, percent. And you can get them that are, you know, have been very aged, and it's the type, you know, when you open it up, it's like, you know, the rest of the family are running off and opening all the windows. And older Danes really like the taste of cumin seeds. So quite often you'll find this cheese in the supermarket with cumin in it. I'm not a huge cumin fan. It's got that kind of bitter aftertaste and the smell as well, which kind of reminds me of the other Danish thing. You know, I love Denmark. There's one thing I don't like about Denmark, and is all the licorice. So I'm not a fan of cumin. So if you are in Denmark and you're buying the cheese, just be careful that you don't get one with cumin in it. So anyway, I'm going to eat this ostemel. I had my havregryn a bit earlier. I'm going to finish running the dishwasher and finish off my morning routine. But anyway, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm sending you all the Danish heat. I hope you can maybe get out for a wee swim, do something nice with the family. Was there anything else? Oh, it's Flylady Friday, which Friday in Flylady land is clean out your handbag. You know, if you've got receipts in there, old snotty hankies, bits of chewing gum, 10 lipsticks. I don't know what happens to handbags, but everything ends up in there. So take a few minutes just to clean that out. I do have videos about the daily focus, all the different days. I'll put it up there in the corner. You can see me going through the contents of my handbag. Fill up the car with petrol, pipe up your bike tyres, and it's also date night. I've got the family's favourite snacks because we like to stay in, hubby and I, and have a quiet time. But anyway, have a wonderful weekend and live long and prosper. May the Danish sugar be with you. Hope you get to try some havregryn, but yeah. Anyway, let me know how you get on, and I shall see you bright and early on Monday morning. Okay, bye for now.